What's going on? It's your girl Sizzle Speaks. Welcome to another episode of Coffee Talks Live, right here on my YouTube channel, where we talk about all things lifestyle, leadership, love, and leveling up. So I'm really excited. I'm on episode 11. So started this 11 weeks ago and really wanted to create this platform so I can encourage women to really tap into those four leadership. And we discuss everything. And it's just looking for some encouragement for, again, by women out here. But anyone, feel free to watch this channel. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share it with your friends. And today I'm excited because I have a guest on who is actually in a similar space that being a motivational speaker. She's also a health and fitness coach, so working on healthy lifestyle. And really, the episode is about how do we create healthy lifestyles for ourselves so that we can maximize not only in our professional spaces, but we can also maximize in our personal spaces, so we can get better with our physical health and also with our mental health, protecting the circles that we're in, making sure that we're aligning ourselves with the right people who have the best, right? So that head over to make sure. But shouts out to everybody on the live. This is really a space. Again, it's about leadership, lifestyle, love, and leveling. Waiting for my guest to get on. But in the meantime, before she gets on, just to talk about the episode again and creating a healthy lifestyle. It's important, right? Especially in our community, right? And the things that we consume on a daily basis, what we're eating, as well as what we're consuming in our mental space, right? So what we're digesting physically and mentally are really important in terms of making sure that we have a healthier lifestyle, especially as we get older. So many of you who know me or have been following me for a while, homegirl is on the back side of her 40 days very differently. And it wasn't until a year ago that I actually started working out consistently and really focusing on my health. So I'm excited to talk about this topic today. And it looks like my guest is in the house. So I'm going to go ahead and let her in the room. What's going on?
What's up?
I love the little braid action. Give me a little Alicia Keys moment right there.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm doing amazing.
Good. You look good. It's kind of breaking up a little bit here and there. So I'm trying to see if I should step actually outside of this office or not.
It might be my Wi-Fi. We're live, right? So I might have to take Coffee Talks into the living room on a live situation.
Look, you and
right
me
now.
both moving. We both moving.
All right, so welcome to the live, y'all, where we get things going. No excuses.
Good.
We just make it happen. So I am literally traveling to my living room, dining room area because my Wi-Fi is closer in here. So it could be my Wi-Fi has been acting a little crazy this week. So let's see if this is better.
Yeah, it's better.
Anyone who is on IG, I encourage you to go to YouTube because right now you're watching me on my episode of Coffee Talks Live. I go live every Thursday, 4:00 Pacific time. And today's guest is Ravenilliard. I'm so excited to have Bird on the show today. So welcome to Coffee Talks. Coffee Talks is all about love, leadership, lifestyle, and leveling up, specifically for my women, but I encourage anyone to tap into the YouTube channel and just get some information. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited that, you even decided to consider me to be a part of your journey and everything that you're producing. This is totally dope.
Absolutely.
To actually see like a podcast and all that's dope.
For sure. And I was telling the audience, so I actually met Bird a few months ago now. It's been a little bit. You were in LA for an event that Adrian Davis was doing. Shout outs to AD. I love AD to death. So an event that he was doing, and we also at the time, I still say we, so I was working with the Outlet LA at the time, and we had a brunch collaboration with AD and the Outlet, and so that's where I actually first met you. So I was working the door for the event, and you came in by yourself, and I was like, word, because she's by herself. That's how I move and operate. Like, I don't wait for anyone to make anything happen. And you were super sweet. So I appreciate you being here and spending some time. And the fact that we share the same space in terms of mentorship, motivational speaking, coaching. The only thing I don't do is the physical side of coaching. So I'm excited to hear about that. But sharing the same space, you know, it was important for me to get you on and highlight that, and be able to speak to our audience about the space that we're in, and make sure that women understand, like, we don't have to compete just because we're doing the same thing. Everyone has their own way about how they coach or how they mentor, you know, how they speak. And so I'm always in a place where with my women's empowerment, I want to encourage us to be better, do better. So yeah, I'm excited. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, your background.
So my name is Ravenilliard. I have literally been going by Bird since forever. I don't know, it's between like my mom and my friends literally just skipped over the name, but I kind of didn't like my name. So growing up, Bird was the thing. I felt like more people accepted me with you know, that name, and then it just kind of became a thing. And you know, everybody knows the whole like bird is the word type deal. So I don't find it coincidental that me to be a speaker, you know? And so I've always kind of struggled with that. I ain't really kind of like either like my voice, or I'm like, ain't nobody really going to hear what I got to say. But I've grown, you know, into certain different perspectives. Every experience has literally taught me something different about myself and about people and how they gonna people. And so, so I have 4 daughters, because for what then I have that much payback.
I love it.
So, you know, I definitely always teach them, you know, hey, yo, you're like, your voice matters. And so even, you know, leading up to the point where I would want to speak, I would always like look back and be like, yo, like, you can't tell them like their voice matters and you over here hush mouth. Like, so that's me. Like, I mean, my girls in my life, they're my why. They're the ones that actually pushed me for the whole LA trip. Like, that was me going out there by myself. And my mom was like, "You crazy?" I'm like, "Mom, it's LA. It's not like Barbados or something." But even then, I mean, hell, I went to Mexico by myself.
There you go.
But yeah, like, just really just trying to own who I am, and, you know, who I'm becoming and who I've become, and being okay with that. So
absolutely. And that's a great space to be in, because, you know, I shared the same experience. It was even as early as last year, I would almost always get on Instagram, whether it was a live or posting a video, and I would say something about my teeth, because that was my biggest insecurity, right? So my teeth always bothered me, and then I didn't like my voice either. And it wasn't until I was getting a couple of messages from different people being like, yo, your voice is like impactful, like it grabs my attention, it pulls me in. And I was like, well, why am I getting on myself so much? If clearly it's my gift, it works. And so, you know, again, it's just being able to grow and evolve and change the mindset, and go from being in a place of being pessimistic or looking at something as a negative to turning around and looking at something that's actually positive, and it's really needed. And there's a lot of people who don't utilize the power of their voice enough in their space of, you know, professional and personal work, where they could really come out and be more authentic, more powerful, make more money as well, right? Because there's so many people that are sitting like, I want to do a webinar, I want to do a live, but I'm too nervous, I'm too scared. And so I'm actually launching a course, a program next month for a select number of people that are wanting to work on their public speaking skills and show up more authentically. So I'm glad you got to that place for yourself, because you know, there's a rhyme and a reason, and again, we all have a different gift for sure. And so I want to talk about the healthy lifestyle side of it. This topic today, I'm like, where's my little banner? Here we go, my little ticker. Okay, perfect. So today is all about creating a healthy lifestyle. in terms of our physical health and also our mental health, and how we protect our circles and just put ourselves in position where we can be healthier all around, right? I know, like I was saying earlier, I'm coming upon my 40 years, so I'm in a very different place in my life than I was a few years back, and understanding like my physical health matters. So
Yeah.
I didn't start working out until last year around March, like actually really dedicating time to work out. And then I stopped eating red meat like 15 years ago or something like that now. But last year on my birthday, I stopped eating chicken, which
What?
was a bit, I know, bird chicken. Okay. I stopped eating chicken because I like had a moment where my stomach was bothering me, and it could literally have nothing to do with the chicken. But mentally I was like, all right, let me put this down and see what happens. And so a year later, almost, I haven't had chicken since. I still ate eggs up until last week, which is so crazy. But I like have not had chicken. And so now there's all these different kind of diets, alkaline diet, like there's so many different things, vegan, pescatarian. So for me, it was more so like just trying something different, see how my body responded. But I noticed that I lost a lot of weight, not just from working out, but I think from missing that amount of protein in my diet, right? But I do feel healthier overall in terms of being able to have more energy during the day because I do work out, and I don't feel as tired when I eat, which is great. So like, when did your health journey start for you?
So I've always liked to work out. Like I've always loved running. I was in track, basketball, all of that growing up. So conditioning was a part of that. But I think it really became like a mental outlet for me. So if I was pissed, if I was, going through it, somebody tried to break my heart, like instead of fighting, I was like, I'm gonna go for a run. And I did it like on some OD. Like I would start doing like 2-a-days and work out. Where the hell I got the time with even, juggling like kids and stuff? Because my first kid, there is a set of twins. So juggling that and going back and forth, like to have that time was like, look, y'all finna get in this stroller and we finna run.
Right.
Always liked, working out. I didn't always eat the best. For the longest time, like I couldn't really like I didn't have like a weight issue or anything like that. It's just like I wanted to always remain toned and stuff like that. For the life of me, I was like, I'm finna get this booty.
Okay.
And it didn't happen. So like I went through a phase where I was like, okay, like I want to gain weight, but how do I do that and put on muscle and like do it the right way? And so, I ended up, going to work out. My mom used to be a personal trainer like back in the day. So she would kind of give me pointers and stuff like that. And then just, like over time having kids and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm not about to be out here still looking pregnant and my kid like already crawling, walking. So I would work out. I worked out through my last 2 pregnancies, like while I was pregnant. But this last one, I kind of stopped because I was pregnant during the pandemic. And so I couldn't really do anything. Well, I told myself I couldn't do anything because I wasn't going to work out at home.
Yeah.
And so, I just I got on Herbalife. I joined Herbalife 3 years ago, and I got on some like for the business opportunity. Like, all right, bet like I can make, side money. At the time I was doing apartment leasing. Okay. And so I was in that, and I was like, bet I get all these residents, like they like me, get them on Herbalife. I got on Herbalife and I literally like sat on it and was like, I'm literally a distributor for like the last 3 years. I'm not growing in this business. I'm not even putting forth effort. So I kind of just like let it go. So during the pandemic, I was like, I'm joining back on Herbalife. Like I want to help out, everybody who is on the team was still people that was in my close circle. And I was like, you know what? Like I want to see this person and this person grow. So if I get back on, this means I'm still under this person and I want to see them climb that ladder. And then I would go to the meetings, and after a while, it just kind of switched. And it was like, well, I do kind of want to do this for me. But I had to get out of the mindset, like anything that you do, is that like you're not subject to just one thing. Right. So even joining like Commas Academy is like, okay, great. Finally, I have someone to break it down to me that, hey, it's okay for you to have an interest in this and this and it still work out. So I got back onto Herbalife, got on the products, literally dropped 13 pounds with just the products alone. And I wasn't working out. So I was like, bet, what happens if I get back in the gym?
Right.
I got on Herbalife back in September. I was like 179. Weighed myself in this morning because that's like my thing when I come into the shop, and I'm 157. So
Wow.
like
Right.
maintaining it, and people don't understand like choosing like that, choosing you in certain areas. When you choose yourself to say, all right, look, I'm finna make 40. I want to work out, because we see them pictures of them fine black women at like they 78 and they
Yep.
smooth look like they're 32. Like, and we're out here like we have no excuse, but they're choosing themselves when they choose, I'm going to put in this time for the gym. I'm going to put in this time and I'm going to eat this way. Like, you chose yourself when you thought, okay, my stomach's hurting. It may be this chicken. Maybe it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But you still chose you to do and formulate some kind of better way or implement something that was going to work for you to have that better lifestyle. So I think I mean, like I said, I like it. Everybody's not a fan of Herbalife. I always tell everybody, you can try the products, like it, don't like it, just try it, see what it do for you. You don't necessarily have to join the business. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because I did hear that a while ago. Like Herbalife get a bad rap. And it could be because of some representation. Who knows? Because I know people who are connected to Herbalife and they're pretty dope people. And so
yeah.
I was just like,
Well,
each his own.
Too. It's like when it was presented to me, I was like, nah, because typically what I used to see is a bunch of girls, posting their results in thongs. And I was like, that's not me. Like, I'm not about to sit out here ass out and just showing you that I worked out. Like, nah.
Right.
And when it was presented to me, it was like, but that's why I want you to do the business, because you could show these younger girls that they don't have to show their results like that. And I was like, you right, you smart.
Yep. It makes sense. Yeah. And it's a full lifestyle. So it's not just about, using the products and working out. Like, it literally is a full lifestyle in terms of the community that I see with, the whole connection to Herbalife and everything else. So that's dope. So talk to me about the shop.
So the shop, I'm in the shop now. You can kind of see it's all the Herbalife products back there. But so my upline just so happens to be one of the young men that I mentored. Like, I met him at the apartment complex.
Nice.
I got him into an apartment. He went in there on like just a rip, like, all right, last property, I'm gonna go see it. I meet him. We end up knowing mutual people. He's like, do you work out? I'm like, at that time, I was like, nah, like, I don't have time. He's like, come on, you gotta make time. So he comes in one day after he moved in. He's like, I joined Herbalife. And he's like, I think you should do it. I think you'd be dope. I'm like, all right, bet. I'll join just to help you out. Do it. Well, he's been in now a little over almost 5 years. So one of the young ladies who had this shop initially, she moved out to Kerrville, Texas, and she opened up a shop. So before letting it go, they tossed it to his way. So since he's had it, we've been open now almost 2 years. Tomorrow we open another one in Giddings, Texas, which is like 2 hours away, which is super exciting because that'll be 2 shops under him, under the same team. So here, everybody can come and they can get like a meal replacement shake. They can come get what I drink every day is like an energy tea. So you got aloe in here that's going to help your digestive system. You got the tea that's going to give you energy. And then what they call a lift off is just like another boost of energy. And everything is sugar free. But it tastes like Kool-Aid. So it's good. But like it literally gives you like that natural energy. And it does help when it's implemented into working out. Because like you said, you're not tired, no more. And a lot of people, I think they're like, I don't have time for that. I'm going to be tired, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, when you actually work out your body, it's almost like you shaking it off. Mm-hmm. So the shop is dope because people come in here and we get people to, buy stuff, but you may come in and I've seen you 3 times buy something. I'm like, do you have the products at home? Because it could be cheaper. So then it typically helps out on the business aspect because now I have space to sit with you, talk with you about the products, get you on, and now have you spending less money because it's now coming to your front door. And then we do use it as a hub. So like if you needed help, I can come make the shake for you or the tea in front of you, the coffee, we got iced coffee, stuff like that. So that way you know how to do it at home and then typically become your health coach. So it do help. Now I've gone into the whole meal prepping. So it's like kind of a plug. I can't do it here at the shop, but I can let them know like, hey, follow my Instagram. Like if I meet people who don't like to cook, and they're like, well, what the hell do I eat? Well, let me help you. So it's a really cool hub to just kind of like branch off for everything. Because like I said, a lot of people, they don't want to do Herbalife, but we do every Wednesday like a HIIT workout. And I think you follow Style, so he has like the same thing out there. And so we do that. Just so having a club, having a fit camp, all of that stuff is what kind of helps build your community and build people to come in and possibly be your next client. So just kind of helping them that way and coaching them to whatever it is that, you know, their fitness goal is.
Yeah. And that's dope. And I think too, with the fitness journey, what people fail to realize is it's harder to hold yourself accountable when you don't have a strong enough why, right? Like it has to be, you have to decide, because the reason is so massive that if you don't do it, there's going to be a major problem, right? Something really drastic is going to happen if you don't do it. And those people who don't have that accountability partner is the perfect way to go to start the journey, right? Because it's a lot harder to get up and say, you know what, today I don't feel like it's gloomy out. I'm tired. I had a long night last night. It's easy to talk ourselves out of something versus talking ourselves into doing it. So getting that community together is key to like ensuring that you actually get it done and you hold yourself accountable. And the other part that I noticed in terms of my own journey was like, once you start to see the results, then you feel like, okay, this is actually happening. But you have to realize the results take time.
Yeah.
It's not instant when it comes to working out and fitness for everyone. There are some people, like I went to college with a couple of guys that would work out and they would have abs. And I'm like, how'd you get those abs that fast? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm trying, it's not working.
That's my upline. Like, so we got screens in here that kind of shows like the videos are like on a loop for the fit camps. So people look at, oh, y'all got to work out. Yeah, like what you doing Wednesday? But they also got flashes of pictures, and this fool's before and after literally looks identical. And I'm like, this nigga was born with results. Like, it's not fair.
Right. Yeah. But if you out there and you are working out and you feel like you're not seeing the results, trust and believe. If you're consistent, it will happen. Like, you have to work the muscle. You have to go consistently and make it honestly a lifestyle. And then tying into that, because you talked about now doing the meal prep, that's the other thing that's so important for people who work out, especially like for me. Like, I go 5 days a week for the most part. For most weeks, I'm consistent. But where I fail to really bring everything together is my eating habits, right? Because I don't eat enough for my goals, right? My goal is to gain more weight, but I'm losing weight. I don't do any cardio. I only do weightlifting. So like, I'm muscular up top, but I'm not gaining the weight that I want to gain because I don't eat enough. And what I find is, based on lifestyle, my own personal lifestyle, like, one, I don't cook. Like, I could throw something together. It'll be edible. I can eat it and feel like I'm alive. But like, homegirl's not saying, hey, bird, come over. We about to have dinner. None of that. So meal prepping is really, really good when you're working out or trying to work on having a healthier lifestyle, because it's done for you. Like, it's there. You just pick it up, warm it up, you go. But it helps you maintain and reach your goals a lot faster. Yeah. So when did you start the meal prep?
It's a discipline. So I actually I started it about 2 years ago, and I kind of, was a little stagnant with it. Just was like, do I want to do it? Because I actually, like, I love to cook. Like, I started cooking. My mom was like, you want to learn how to cook? Come in here and watch me. She had 3 jobs, so she didn't have time to really like kind of, this goes here, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think even like my first Thanksgiving dinner, I was 19 and I was staying in North Dakota, and my mom was in Texas. And I was like, Mom, it smells just like your kitchen. Like, everything came out exactly. And all she did was talk to me on the phone and tell me what to do.
Right.
So I've always enjoyed cooking, but I didn't cook healthy. So when I started really paying attention to like what I was taking in, now I'm looking at labels, because my sister, she had a big, huge weight journey. Like, she had ended up being diagnosed with cancer. And so after like her chemo and all that, like, I mean, she blew up. Like, she never would have thought like she would have reached that weight, and on her side of the family, it kind of was bigger people that had other issues in their health and stuff like that. So she didn't want that for herself. So she started eating different. And I mean, this girl was like counting out like cubes of cheese. And I was like, okay, that's. But when she started breaking it down to me, she was like, no, you have to measure things out. And she was like, you work out, like you shouldn't be eating like that. So then I start checking labels, everything, because you never know. You never know. Like people pay attention to like mom and dad and all that stuff. You don't know down the way in your bloodline who had what. And so I started checking all of that stuff. And then now like just measuring stuff out. And I don't know, like I had some people do it, but I didn't push it as I should. And finally I was like, okay, well, I'll just do both. Like if they want me to cook for them, I'll cook for them. But if they want to go the healthy route, and I was like, nah, squash that. They're going to like your food regardless. And they do. Right. So I just make it healthy. And literally I had this nurse, she just bought 15 meals the other day. And she was like, okay, what are you doing? Because this junk is like bomb. And I was like, all of it literally has like maybe like 150 milligrams of sodium. Like it's not anything unhealthy. And she was like, bruh, it tastes good. It's like the correct spice. It's like not overly salty, all that stuff. And that's stuff that I want to hear back. But at the same time, I'm just excited that when you get off your 15-hour shift, all you got to do is pop this in a microwave and it's good. It's ready to go for you. And that's typically why I started doing it. It's like, well, how could I help somebody who has the desire to do this fitness journey, but not a lot of people remind them that that's just 20%. So then what are they going to do with the other 80%? Are they going to end up resulting 9 times out of 10, they're going to result to, well, it was late. I stopped at McDonald's for a large fry. Cause I've done
convenience. Yes.
Yeah. And so it's like, all right, bet, like you spending $8 at McDonald's, and it's not healthy for you. So let me do this for you this way. And then you don't have to do nothing. All you have to do is do that. And then you don't even got to give me back them containers. Chunk them, throw them away. Because I know you don't like to wash dishes. If you don't like to cook, you don't like to wash dishes.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah, shout out to everybody watching the live. If you have questions from the community, feel free to drop your questions. Anything about healthy lifestyle, healthy eating. So Mercedes says healthy foods don't have to be bland, and that's what people sometimes don't realize. So they keep eating the crap. Yeah. And the other thing about that too is usually the things that taste really good aren't good for your body.
Right.
Like you're taking in things that you shouldn't be eating. And I had the pleasure of so my best friend, he does a podcast too. And so he had a gentleman on his podcast on like last Monday. They were recording an episode and I was there. And the guy that did the episode, he's all a holistic alkaline diet specialist.
Okay.
And he's really creative and he's a genius in terms of how he communicates to his audience. Like he'll have some really outrageous outfit on because he's like grabbing the attention, right? And he's targeting the younger market because his focus is to start them early. So I say all that to say, when I was sitting in the room and just really listening to the information that he was delivering and like how much junk is in the stuff that we eat, like now I'm literally reading labels, driving myself crazy almost, trying to figure out what I should eat and what I shouldn't eat. But the point is like the stuff that tastes really good is 9 times out of 10 not good for you. But to Mercedes' point, to your point, there's a way to still make a healthy meal that has a good palate. And you don't have to like suffer from eating something that's bland just because you're afraid to put a little salt in there or a little adobo or whatever works.
Right.
So that's dope. I love the meal prep. I know. Yeah. I had to learn. I was like, Sazon? I wonder if this is just for color because I don't think I get any flavor out of that orange packet.
Look, I'm confused because I would tell our mom all the time growing up, I'm like, I think it literally just changes color. Because I've tried it by itself and I'm like, no, I don't. It's not giving what it's supposed to.
Yeah, it's the Spanish version of food coloring in a powder form.
Yeah. So Mercedes is actually one of my newest clients on Herbalife. And she actually just sent me like a voice memo. She's out in Atlanta. And so she was like, bruh, like the way you walked me through these teas, like who the heck needs soda? And she been on the teas and the shakes like every day, literally not reverting back. So like hearing that kind of stuff and for you to be that far, you're not even in the same city as me.
Right.
Bet like you're holding yourself accountable, not only because you purchase products, because now you've tasted it, for yourself, you're seeing the change in yourself and now you're choosing yourself this way. So it's dope to kind of like see that and like even hear that kind of response. Cause it's like people got to for themselves. Yeah. But
exactly. And this is Mercedes with the 2 hair colors.
Mercedes? Yeah.
Oh, I love her. She was at the brunch as well. I remember seeing her at the brunch. Very much a big supporter of AD. So I see her here and there on social media. So shouts out to you, Mercedes, for being on the live. Appreciate that. And she said her kids don't even drink soda or juice anymore, thanks to Raven. So shouts out to that, because the soda and the juice is definitely dangerous.
And that's a lot of moms be looking for alternatives, you know what I'm saying, for like kids and all of the stuff here. Like you could take it while you're pregnant. It is safe for your kids. And so kids coming here and I'm like, well, you know, as long as they see this, they're like, I'm like, you fool, you drinking water.
Exactly. They don't know the difference, because homegirl used to take down a juicy juice or two when she was a kid, the little Huggies, before I put them in the spokes on the bike. So we are right at the half an hour, which is totally fine. But I wanted to transition a little bit. We could take a couple of minutes to dive into it, but really talking about the mental part of creating a healthy lifestyle and ensuring that you are setting yourself up for success in terms of your circle and getting rid of the noise. I call it the white noise, the people that no longer belong, or the people that are just not on the same path or the same journey. And I know for myself, I learned a lot about how I need to move differently in my space as I grow older, looking at the things that I want to achieve in my life, and how the people that were currently on the path with me didn't fit the molds, right? And so I learned at this conference that I went to the first month I moved to LA. His name is Alpha Slice, and I've referred to him a lot on my lives, but he talked about, you know, there's your zeros, your plus ones, and your negative ones in your life right now. So your zeros are people who, like, they don't take from you, but they don't really give much. They're kind of there, but you know, neither here nor there, they're no bother, right? Negative energy, no positive energy. Then you have your negative ones. Those are the people, like, when the phone rings, you look at it, you're like, oh, I don't really want to pick up this call because I know what this conversation is about to be about, and I don't have time. And then you have your plus ones, and those are your people that pour into you. They add value to you. They're on the same path. They're on the right track. And he gave us this exercise, and he's like, I want you to look at all the people that you text every day, or that you call, or that you email, or that's on your social media. Like, really filter through, create a list of those people and give them a rating of a 0, a +1, or a -1. And he was like, anyone who's not a +1 has to go. It could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your best friend. If they don't hit the +1, you have to get rid of them, right? And so I did this exercise, and crazy enough, and I've said this story a few times, my mom had to go from my list for a while, because I would talk to my mom, and you know, she's just being protective of her daughter. I get it, but she was in a space where a lot of things were from a pessimistic standpoint, and it's worrisome. Oh my God, what's going on? You're all the way in LA. You're not gonna be safe. What's happening? And I'm like, lady, I don't have the capacity or the time. So when you get to a point where you can pick up the phone, call me, and it's about something that's positive, and you're looking at the outlook to be something better for you and better for me, then let's talk. And so I had to put her on ice for a little while. But as a result, now the conversation with her is completely different. Yeah. She learned something, right? I was able to utilize that downtime to get myself together and keep trucking along in the way that I was going. And so I think, you know, looking back in retrospect, even though it was hard, right? Because it's my mom, it was necessary. And I feel like people don't do that enough in their lives, where they look at the people who are directly tied to them, like their circle of 5 or even their perimeter of 15, and say, okay, are they adding value and adding to me, or are they holding on to the coattail because I love them or I care and I want to support them?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think people don't understand the difference between, you know, you being loyal to a relationship, and then loyalty coming in and overtaking, and now your loyalty has become lethal to your life. Mm-hmm. And so then when it happens that way, it's like, okay, look, you trying to hold on to, like you said, you trying to hold on to coattails, but in like a matter of seconds, they probably would be real quick to drop you if they had to, or if they felt like it. So why do we, you know, as loyalists, sit there and hold on, and then look shock face like, well, wait a minute, where did they go? Right. On what they do, you know, whatever it is they want to do, and they can drop you and pick you up. If you allow that mentally, it's gonna F you up moving forward, because even when it comes time for you to choose you're gonna contemplate that and go back and forth. And that should be easy. Choosing you should always be easy, but it's not, especially when you are grown accustomed to always giving. And it could be hard, like, having a tie. That's your parent, that's your mom. So I'm sure it wasn't easy for you. But even like you said, putting her on ice. So I'm like, that kind of is like my mom and my relationship. It's like there's certain details that I'll share with you because mentally I'm not even going to put myself in a box that has to deal with you on this when I know I know what to expect, and I know really what you can handle and what you can't. Not to say that, she's, not a great supporter or she's weak in the area. It's just there's certain things I can share with you and there's certain things that I can't. And I'm okay with that. And you got to be okay with that. And if you're not, I'm still okay with it because however you feel about it, don't make me feel no kind of way because I've made a decision to choose me and whatever that looks like and keeping my peace and understanding these are the decisions that I'm making to progress and produce the way that I want to is going to take me to be like, hey, like, I don't got no beef with you, but like, I'm cool with you staying over there. Or I'm cool with you not being as invested to what I'm doing right now. And I think a lot of people, especially like in the social media world, they get, blindsided with the whole, I can't tell you how many posts I see a day that's like, cut them off, this and this and that. And it's like, cut them off for what? Because you feel hurt, you and your feelings, or whatever the case may be. Like, you could do away with somebody and not be ugly. Or you could do away with somebody maybe for a period of time. Maybe that's necessary. Maybe you go and you do you and you wind up and see them in a whole different state or something. Maybe they might be the one that decides, you know what, I'm going to obey God on your behalf. Maybe they decide to sow into, whatever it is that you're doing. You never know. So it's like you burning bridges because you're doing it off of emotion, and that's not healthy. So it's still not something that you're considering when you are saying that you want to help your mental, and I think that you don't really understand that level of peace. It can be as easy as you make it, and it could be as difficult as you make it, because sliding somebody over to the side, giving them the Heisman, like say, like right now, I think I heard on one of your episodes that you was like, you took time away and you were, working on stuff, and, you had them friends that were like constantly blowing you up. And then it was like, hey, like, I'm fine, but I'm working, like I'm doing something. And so, like it kind of, it goes hand in hand. Like, you got to do that. Because
I'm quick to post, listen, don't look for me right now because I'm focused on what I'm focused on. Or, and you also have people in your life, I believe, that are there for a reason. Like, you have your going out friends. So you have those people that you can call when you're ready to do something. And then you have your friends who are like-minded in the business aspect. So you got them when you need them. So, you got to put people in buckets, I think, too. So another comment, I'm having to set strong boundaries with my family as I'm growing my business because they can sometimes be negative concerning my vision. Hallelujah. Amen, sister. Because what you will find throughout your journey, and this is my like leadership coaching side coming out. What you will find is that your vision, your gift is yours and it doesn't belong to anyone else. So they're not going to understand it all the time.
At all.
They're not going to see it, and they're not going to feel like supporting you, especially if, like, I've had situations where someone was literally directly in competition with me in my vision because they saw it for themselves at some point in their lives, but they didn't activate on it. Right. And so then when I spoke about my vision and it happened to have some similarities and I was activating on it, it was almost like they were hating on it and saying, that's not going to work, because people meet you from where they are, not where you are.
And they'll try to project their fear on you.
Yes.
Like if they didn't do something, they didn't fall through with something, then it's like, I had people like in my family, like, who does she think she is? And it's like, bruh, like, and my feelings would get hurt because it's like, I don't think like I'm above anybody. I'm taking a chance on me. And then I finally had to get to the point where it's like, you know what? Like, you could be your worst critic for you, and you can, take notes and do whatever and fix and implement whatever it needs to. Don't let other people do that. Don't let other people dictate how far you can go, because I got to a place where I was like, okay, the biggest thing that I was looking at was the fear of actually being successful. Like, well, if I drop this podcast, who gonna listen to it? Or what happens if it take off? It's like, bro, you're never gonna know any of those things unless you get up and do it. And a lot of times people, especially family, and I think that's the biggest part, especially with entrepreneurs, is you want to branch off and you want to do all these things. You want to help, you want to be great, because in some instance, like, you're helping somebody, you know. I don't care if you building something or you leasing an apartment to somebody, like, you're helping somebody. I don't care if you make an ice cream cone, you helping somebody. And so in that, you know, somebody is going to not like the fact that, you know what, Stizzle had enough guts to go out there and put the camera on, put her red lip on, and just be out there and do it. And people actually like her for it. So you mad because you stay stuck 20 years, 10 years, you know, a month, stuck in the same mindset. And so now you want me to revert back to how you think? That's not how that works. And I think the biggest thing that especially younger entrepreneurs deal with is still trying to people please, especially when it comes into family. And people got to be okay with doing away with certain things. And just like a tree that's growing, like, certain things get cut off. Like, you got flowers that you want to stay alive, you cutting off certain things that's just not growing, because one, it's not going to look good. Two, it's not going to help everything, you know, the rest of it grow. And so it's like, if you want to grow, you're going to have to be okay with being out here being alone, and understanding that being alone doesn't equal being lonely. And when you feel lonely, like, okay, boost yourself up. I'm very firm believer of like waking up, doing declarations, speaking into myself. I would look like a whole crazy person speaking to myself, like in the mirror, driving, in the mirror, in my restroom, like, you got this. Because some of the lowest times in my life, that's what got me out. Like, let me speak to me, because I don't have nobody else to call right now. Because if I call somebody and even try to do anything like and celebrate myself, you got those people that's like, oh, well, I did that already, or, well, I was going to do that too, or totally just go off subject and be like, you know what happened today? Like, bro, I just told you, like, I almost died, or I just told you I just, you know, hit, you know, my followers or my goal or whatever. And you just, you changed it on you, or you changed the subject, period. So then you just got to be okay with letting certain people go, or you got to be really okay. Like, for me, I'm a very private person, so I only share certain things that I want to be out there, which is why you'll never see like my personal life out on my social media. Like, you'll get me, the speaker, you'll get me, the podcaster, you'll get me, you know, meal prepping, whatever. But you're gonna have snippets. You know, everybody's not gonna be able to see insight on like what my girls is doing, where they at, because at some point I believe in myself to get where I want to be at a larger scale, that I still want to have something for me. And I still don't want everybody, you know, in that. And I got people who be mad about that. And it's like, okay, feel how you want to feel. But I'm going to keep and I'm going to protect what I want for me. And I'll let you see whatever you want to see. But people don't understand that. It's like, mentally, if you don't choose yourself in that way, you'll drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. It's like your no has to be a lot stronger than your yes when you're on this entrepreneurial journey.
Yes.
And figuring out how you're going to get to your vision ultimately, like the steps and the journey in doing that, you're going to have to say no a lot more than you are able to say yes. And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. And like, especially like women, like, one of the things that I teach a lot of the young girls that I mentor is understanding. And I always see a pattern, because it's not necessarily that they're people pleasing, but it's like, okay, I'll do it because they nice and they want to be available. They want to show that they can help. And it's like, you need to be okay with understanding that your no carries just as much weight as your yes. And if you say, it's okay, actually, like, I'm cool on that, I don't want to do that, I don't want to go over there. Being okay with that and understanding that you're not going to lose relationship behind it. And if you do, then them suckers had to go a long time ago anyway. Right. So you literally just made a gateway for them to escape, and we made it a little bit easier. But I think that's the hardest part, is saying no. And so what I kind of tell them, I'm like, label out something, write it out on paper. I want you to name the things, the people, the substances, everything that you've given your yes to, and ask yourself how that benefited you. And had you given it a no, what would your life look like now? So start implementing them no's, and you could just be that much more successful, literally in everything. It's not always about, you know, getting the bag. Are you mentally stable? Like, can you drive down the road and not pass up a red light because you just in your own head, you know?
Right. Exactly. And it's never too late to make a change, and it's never too late to Mercedes' point, to create boundaries and create strong boundaries and really learn how to accept and receive them for yourself and stick to them and not allow people to penetrate your bubble to the point where it explodes and you're back to square one. But I will say, I encourage anybody who's watching to do a reset of your circle. Whether it's that exercise of your zeros, your plus ones, or your negative ones that works, or something else. Re-identify if you're in a position where you don't feel like you're getting to the place you want to be at. Re-identify your circle and make sure that you get the people around you that can help you grow and help you expand. So that's important. Yeah. So if you just tuned in, this was episode 11 of Coffee Talks with Miss Bird. Bird got that word.
Yes.
So make sure you follow her on IG. I will also put it down description in the box. Put in the description box. So you can find her on her social media pages, and definitely tap in with Bird. Thank you for being on this episode and talking about creating a healthy lifestyle, the workouts, the Herbalife, the journey of meal prep, and then getting your mindset and your mental together. And before we escape, every episode of Coffee Talks, I always ask my guests, and I got my coffee mug. Shout out to the Geminis. Our season is about to start.
Oh, Lord.
What does Bird do on her coffee break?
My coffee. Well, I don't really have coffee breaks anymore. So, when I have my Herbalife iced coffee, I'm typically here in the shop. So I'm probably talking to somebody. I'm probably trying to help coach somebody into something.
There you go. Yeah. Boom. I like it. Always working.
Yeah.
I appreciate you dearly for being on this episode.
Yes.
Everybody who was in the audience who tuned in, thank you for being here. If you missed the episode and you're just now tuning in, don't worry. You can always go back and rewatch the playback on my YouTube channel. But this is Coffee Talks Live, and we talk about leadership, lifestyle, love, and leveling up. I will see you all next Thursday, 4 p.m. PST, live on YouTube. Take care.
Bye.